This is an emergency announcement. Medical team to wonders. Rampage didn't wait for the custard to cool. Again.
This is an announcement. There will be an announcement shortly.
This is a public announcement. If you see an unattended ventriloquist dummy on the parade, do not approach it. I repeat, do not approach it.
As another dawn rises on Proxima, creeping slowly around Eden and bathing the station in a warm glow, a hauler docks at one of the small pads. It descends into the orbital, turns and slides across towards the disembarkation doors. In a blue circle at the foot of the steps, a figure appears. He straightens, looks around in a confused manner, then steps hesitantly towards the doors. He ignores the docking crew as they step up to refuel the hauler, and looks curiously at the lift before pressing the button to head to the concourse. When the doors open, he squints in the bright light, past the Apex travel desk and out to look out of the far window at ships approaching. He pauses, basking in the sunlight for a moment before turning and heading back to the lift. He fumbles in a pocket until he finds a small, blue embossed identity card and passes over the lift call button. Imperceptibly, he moves as the lift takes a different route, heading across the station, then up to the top of one of the tall towers. He steps out onto the gantry and, rubbing one hand over his poorly trimmed beard, then through his hair, he walks towards the door. Opening it, he looks across the room full of astonished faces, then takes the only remaining seat behind a desk. Frowning, he leans across, throws a switch, and in a calm voice says,
"Our mics are live." It's me! I'm back!
Yeah, who are you again?
Rudolph Hucker. You know, I'm a tech monkey this week.
I'm sorry, Rudolph? Who? Nope, doesn't ring any bells.
Is he from Live Radio?
If he is, he's very lost. I mean, it's not even Tuesday, is it?
Maybe it was Radio Sidewinder.
I thought that was Live Radio.
Oh no, totally different. Live are the orange Sidewinder of broadcasting.
Oh, I see what you mean. They're totally different.
Anyway, who is this guy? I'm calling security.
Oh no! Let me remind you, like this. The difference between loitering and littering is about 20 seconds of weapon fire.
Dix misses the mix as his voice is given the nicks.
Too hot, too messy. Update 12.
Are you ready for Thargopolis? New training simulator available.
Things will be all blight.
First, this evening, we have reports from far space that a Hutton decal carrying Type 9 has met a rather untimely end. Commander Flossy, on one of her regular forays into the trade lanes, had loaded up a Type 9 ready for a little bit of commodity trading. She hopped into the cockpit and completed her pre-flight checks. which involved checking the right keyboard was plugged in, making sure the snack supplies were fully stocked, and of course, turning the telly on for Wrongway. She duly clicked the button to lift off from the pad of Vija's fleet carrier before opening the galaxy map, which took a while to open. Then there was a little bit about finding the destination and plotting a route, then replotting it as she didn't like the places it was going through, then thoroughly plotting it right through to the final destination. Unfortunately, as it turns out, when blipping her uppy thruster, she was more used to flying one of her more nimble ships. In the fully laden Type 9, however, that was only just enough to disengage the docking clamps, leaving the big truck hovering a mere inch over the pad. Vija's overworked crew, having been paying absolutely no attention to any nearby vessels, simply saw a warning light on their control panel. The bridge crew dropped the pad they were solving today's Wordle on, and in a panic mashed the "Open fire all weapons" button. The automatic targeting computer had already logged Flossy as loitering, which in the case of fleet carriers doesn't come with lots of fines and warnings, just a red winky light, then some bright white flashing lights, then some big fireball-shaped lights, with a few pew-pew noises. Flossy's vessel was turned into scrap. The cargo was turned into scrap, and both she and Wrongway were ejected via their Remlock safety equipment. Vija, realising his lackadaisical crew had just committed a rather large faux pas, sent a rescue ship to pick up the now rather peeved Flossy, and we understand that a rather large insurance claim has been submitted. Of course, that doesn't cover the cargo, nor Wrongway's latest all-in-one TV remote, or the snacks. There were choice words. There was a summons for the bridge crew to attend a friend or foe identification lesson. There was pan wieldage with wild abandon. This is a reminder. There are certain crimes that can be committed even in the comfort of a friend's carrier. Loitering is the most heinous. Loitering with absolutely no intent at all is even worse.
Bat-eared listeners might have noticed a small omission in last week's show. We had Amelia, we had the apology officer, we had a resident tech monkey and backup tech monkey, we had Flossy with her flat mouse, but where Commander Chicks would normally be, it appeared there was nothing but the sound of silence. Now, we had notification before the show that Commander Chicks was suffering from mods. Not a bad version of mods, just a form of the psychic sore throat that had some bizarre symptoms. The radio presenter's team could hear him, he could hear himself, the neighbours could hear him coughing away and chatting to the microphone 12 to the dozen. The only problem was that this version of mods he had was his broadcasting his voice in a wavelength that was incompatible with the modulator and the studio equipment, and neither the tech of the week nor the listener could hear him, unless they were listening to ultrasonic frequencies. The budgies could hear him, the dogs could hear him, but your average human being, to them, Chicks was as silent as deep space. All they heard was the sound of silence. Of course, the studio crew could see his lips moving and co-presenters could hear his words. What wonders he was regaling the studio with during the banter, well, nobody knows. What erudite and witty retorts, lost to the ages. There are rumours that he did indeed tell us the funniest joke known to humanity, and that his singing during Flossy's birthday tribute was worthy of choirs of heavenly beings. We have no idea that he was an alto. Unfortunately, the recording equipment was unable to recreate these wonders of radio. Commander Overlight, for it was he on the decks that evening and totally unable to hear Chicks, had to apply the Blue Peter procedure to the show. A set of safety scissors and plenty of sticky back plastic, the final product bore very little resemblance to the wonder that was broadcast on the evening. It was slick, seamless, and a testament to Overlight's masterful editorial skills. Please consider this a warning. Mods is a dangerous affliction. It can strike you when you least expect it, and the symptoms are unlike anything you've encountered before. Commander Chicks has been said to have made a great recovery, with swift application of a Hutton mug to the affected area. He even said ouch, and we heard it. So, Commander Chicks, In full voice, we hand over to you for the next bit. X. X. Hello, are you there?
Is this thing on? Testing. 1, 2, 8. Too Hot, Too Messy has now been going for 12 weeks. That's almost 3 months. Too Hot, Too Messy? What is that, you say? Well, A, where have you been hiding? And B, it's the Hutton-led initiative to deliver Hutton mugs and Centauri magazine to every single station in the galaxy. This week, commanders have continued to drop off mugs and gin on doorsteps before dawn, and we just passed 32,000 deliveries. Delivery numbers have seen an increase on recent weeks, with over 1,700 delivered last week, and we are set to achieve a similar number this week. So get stocked up, get involved, and keep the momentum going. Remember, every mug counts, and you may just win a real mug by taking part. 4 new commanders and 1 new squadron have joined the effort this week, taking the total to 219 pilots spread across 74 squadrons. And of course, more are always welcome. Naturally, Hutton commanders are collectively blazing away at the head of the squadron leaderboard, passing 13,000 deliveries in the week. The Wing Hussars are in second, approaching 1,700 muggings, and the Paladins are holding third with over 1,300. The quartet of commanders that form the Undead, appropriate this week, are still in fourth with over 800 mugs delivered. He who, well, it would be too boring to mention each week, is still out in front with over 2,750 mugs and gin delivered. Some say that he's been upgrading his suits this week. However, he's still being chased down by Nem, who has just passed 2,000 deliveries. Commander Waller 81 is closing the gap on Nem and lies third with over 1,750. Commander Mouse 8287 is fourth with Infinite Dreamer fifth, joining the small group of commanders that have delivered more than 1,000 mugs. How do we know all this? Well, because it's tracked by the marvel that is the Hutton Helper, and updated live on the Too Hot, Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug.com/hotmess2. At this rate, we'll have delivered a canister of Hutton mugs and Centauri magazine to every station in the galaxy by, well, the new year. Precisely which new year we are going to speculate as we find more and more stations, and the list has just grown to 200,000. Apart from the glory alone, there's an additional incentive in a real-world gravity-assisted, mods-prevented Hutton mug that you can fill with tea, gin, or whatever you like, as you happily take Hutton mugs to where no Hutton mug has gone before. Any commander that delivers 10 mugs in a week will be entered into that week's draw to win a real one. Unless you already have one, of course, in which case you'll have been immunised against pods already. 11 commanders have accomplished this so far, so you can see a little golden mug next to their names in the top commanders table, and keep listening later on for this week's winner to be announced in the Banter bit after the news. How do I join in the fun, I hear you ask? Well, first you need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download, where your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically registered for you by Antarius Fusion's magical mathematical hamsters.
Preppers. You find them everywhere. Okay, you find a lot more of them over in the territory of the night shift than you do everywhere else, but night shifters haven't overcome that frontier attitude. We live on the border of the big wide outdoors, and you never know when aliens, the government, foreign invaders are going to come and try and take away your stuff. They've got everything: long life food, a spade for digging the latrine, water filtration equipment, a big lamp, an axe, an arsenal, a log cabin, a cooking guide on how to turn the local wildlife into a tasty barbecue. For the rest of us, we're usually surrounded by civilization, cities and spaceports, settlements and carriers, other people, there's always someone else who knows how to weld, to turn that scrap heap into a full MacGyver, or to B.A. Baracus their way into turning that little cargo cart into a fully armoured tank. Someone who knows the Heimlich manoeuvre, or was a scout and can rub sticks together to keep warm. That person that can be relied upon to know what to do when someone has red on them. But with the incoming Thargoid menace, it has fallen upon the authorities to start preparing the population for the potential that humanity might be in a spot of bother. To that end, Heinrich Mount Public Service Broadcasting, along with the team at the Pilots Federation, have designed and launched the latest survival simulator. If you find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, well, how did I get here? And more importantly, why am I in an Earth-like world with a spade, a sharp knife and a small raincoat? Anyway, The Stranded. Alien Dawn Simulator attempts to place you in the unenviable situation of not being able to go to space, of not having neighbours, or that person who has all the skills you need. You challenge to accumulate all the skills you need to, not die of dysentery, and B, not get eaten by scary looking aliens. Available at all good simulators near you, and in 6 months' time at Computer Exchange for the bargain second-hand price of 50 old English pounds. Scottish notes not accepted here. Or at a store credit for one.
I know it's silly season this week, but we have some strange and frankly unexplained goings on in Hutton space this week. We have an upset at the bottom, a famine at the top, and a blight at home. More on those stories coming up. It has been a bit of a race to the bottom this week, and for once, Barnard's Star is not the winner. Instead, Ross 671 has steadily lost a point of influence per day for almost 2 weeks, with no apparent or obvious cause, leaving it on 32%. Our usual bottom dweller, Barnard's Star, is on 35%, and with only one new conflict, now is not a bad time to boost Hutton influence further. Joining Barnard's Star on 35% is Avik, still reeling from the effects of a blight, famine, bust war, with the Spectre of Sirius still only a handful of points behind. And this is an excellent time to boost the system's economy through trade, missions, data and bounties, and put some daylight between us and Lee Yong-Rui. Our home system, Alpha Centauri, recovered a couple of points in the week to 38%, but another blight has struck. So ship in agronomic treatment to the large planetary pads before this becomes the third system to fall into the blight, famine, bust cycle in as many weeks. Well done to those commanders who shipped in water purifiers and power generators to rectify the infrastructure failure in Wolf 359, and who probably snaffled all the 50 million credit Bertrand type missions. If you recall last week, when we reported that the blight that started it all in LP 525-39 had spread to LP 532-81, well, that system has now slipped into famine, but somehow still remains our best performing system on 66%. Good, that'll drain the life out of them a bit, back down to the 60% line. At the overachieving end of the Hutton systems table, we have 4 systems above 60%, one with a famine, and thankfully we aren't looking to expand anywhere soon. So priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, ship food into LP 532-81 and agronomic treatment into Alpha Centauri.
And we're back in the studio. Woof. Oh dear. It's nice to be back.
Remember who you are.
Security.
Yeah, security.
I'm Actually, I'm not sorry. That's your job to be sorry. You can be sorry for me not being here. Yes. Well, look, really well done to the stand-in text, to Lithobreaker and to Overlight for their work over the last few weeks. Round of applause. To the epic editing skills of Overlight last week. I only listened to the post-edit version of the show. And to me, it sounded seamless. Just chicksless, but seamless.
Yeah, he took a chainsaw to it, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm more concerned about the effect the gaffer tape had on your moustache, actually. But
I didn't know you could even get a phlegm filter.
Well, yes. Just to be sure, take off and nuke the entire radio show from orbit.
Yeah, it's a little bit to be sure.
I've missed doing the show. I've missed doing the show terribly. I know I've been attempting to do a little bit of writing at the last minute while the laptop perched on my knee or on a train somewhere. But
Damn, I thought then when you said the show, I thought you were going to say toilet bowl. But anyway, there you go. Carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'm going to save what I've been up to for the Green Room week, because of course it is a Green Room week this week.
Oh yeah.
Which means I can see people lurking in chat. That means at the end of the show, which is a tiny bit shorter because we don't have an Amelia this week. Many hugs to Amelia, but we don't have Amelia. So we're going to pop to the Green Room and we're going to have a chat with anybody that feels like turning up there about how...
You do know Volcarius sent you, I don't know if it was a programme or a link or a table or something telling you how to arrange it so that everybody had somebody different to speak to. There was a system of some kind.
Well, it's make it up as you go along, and I usually cock it up, which is much more fun.
It was far too organised for us.
Exactly. Chaos is normal on this show, but yeah, it's been nice. Anyway, I'm joining the studio this evening. You've just heard the apology officer. Good evening, the apology officer.
Hello.
I'm not going to ask you what you've been up to because that's for later.
That's for later.
Yeah, good evening, Flossy.
Good evening.
We've got good evening to Commander Chicks, whose voice is back.
Is it? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, oh, yes. And good evening to Lithobreaker.
Hello,
but not good evening. As I said to Amelia, because Amelia's off. Who have I missed? Nobody. That's it. And obviously we don't have an Overlight this week because Overlight's gigging, I think, isn't he?
He's having his eardrums kicked in.
Yeah, by somebody violent sounding. I mean, I think he sent us a video earlier. This is the first support band. They are very noisy.
Yes. And very slow. They sounded like they were on 33 1/3 RPM.
Yes. So, I mean, I was going to say, what, apart from the show, what did I miss? Well, there's been some news from back in the day, back in 2000. When are we? 2020 something. We're on our 12th Prime Minister in the UK here, and
this week.
That's just
this week. Yeah. So I've missed all that. Well, I didn't quite miss all the news because of where I was earlier in the week, but apparently there's a revolving door been installed in number 10 or something.
Yeah. Talking about the truster bleep.
Yes, something about lettuce. I don't know what it was about the lettuce. Maybe that's why we've got famine or blight.
I don't know the lettuce.
No, the lettuce was fresh. Yeah, the lettuce stayed fresh.
Well, she was a Romainer.
Oh dear. See, this is what you missed when Chicks was silent last week.
If you don't know your lettuce types, you're lucky.
Yes.
Yeah. So
put him back on a rocket.
It was the cost of living crisis that did for her.
So the man who came second has now come first, but nearly the guy who was kicked out came back, but then he didn't because I have no idea. It's more entertaining.
He went to see a man in the big house and he gets sweeties.
Yes.
I think he's already got.
He's been doing his Halloween, knocking on the doors quite early. I suppose he's a busy man. I suppose he had to.
It must have been interesting for the man with the big house to meet somebody who's got an even bigger house, probably.
Well, that was on the repair shop. What is it? That repair shop show.
Oh, I watched
this week.
Yeah. I've got a barn. Yeah. I've got a barn.
My barn's bigger than your barn. No. From J Blades. I've got a gold tooth and you haven't. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you're on the tools.
Yes. I quite enjoyed that one this week.
It was good.
Yeah, just watching the clock.
It took in a broken urn and an old clock.
What I can't understand though is They have this twee little barn where all this work apparently goes on. And
Yeah.
I must admit, it's masterful editing where they show you stuff being worked on in close-up and then they cut it with set in this twee little barn where there are no tools, there's no mess, there's no dirt, there's no radio.
There's some guy with some bellows and a big beard, and how he hasn't burnt his beard down against those flames, I have no idea.
It's
And
because they're artisans, that's how.
I work in a workshop, proper workshop, like talking, big tools, proper, forges and anvils and all that stuff. And there are corners of that we don't even go into. But
I think that's the
little
difference.
barn.
I think that's the difference is that they're dealing with tiny jeweler screwdrivers and wee
Well, so are
meticulous
we, but,
things,
you know.
and you're dismantling a Bofors gun.
I'll put it back together.
Dealing with little jeweler screwdrivers doesn't count if you're hitting the jeweler screwdriver with a £15 sledgehammer.
Well, the thing is, he was using that lovely little clockmaker's lathe, with the wibbly wobbly belt on it. But where's that on a bench?
It's over at the side, near the back.
Yeah,
Is it?
it is there. Well, it's at the...
No work goes on in that barn.
And for anybody on the night shift who's not seen the repair shop stuff, that you really need to. I'm sure it must be on BBC Worldwide because it is the most wholesome thing on television over here. I mean, forget your cake baking.
And people bring in old broken knackered things and they go, right, come back in a week, and they take them away and proper experts restore them and
But
fix
I reckon
them
that
all.
Steve
and
guy...
then the people come back and cry a bit.
Yeah, I reckon that Steve chap could probably stick Flossy's Type 9 back together again.
He can fix anything. Steve can fix anything.
Now, Flossy...
He is a horologist, though.
There are rumours that first article, we just made it up completely to take the mickey out of you, and that's not true at all, is it? Vija did kill you dead.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Every word of that was true. You did have a fully laden Type 9. You were plotting maps. The fleet carrier did open fire.
Yeah.
Wrongway did get ejected with you and lost the remote control. Yeah. So where were you in the galaxy at the point that happened?
I was in a system near the CG system.
Ah, right. You were hauling for CGs.
Yes, we were using our fleet carriers.
Right, and obviously you're going to be catching us up with the news on the CGs sometime soon, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, and so we've got a few articles that have popped up. So, this would be a good one to talk about. I'm just going to randomly pick on, I don't know, Lithobreaker, our first one this week from back in 2020 Prime Ministers. Was about flying cars. I have noticed the absence of flying cars in the galaxy, even in the year 3308.
Yes.
Yeah, that has been a problem so far. But
I mean, there are little cars that go
solved.
round and round the inside of things, and
Well, to be fair, we don't really get to see Earth-likes and where people live in.
yeah, but there are no lights moving across the sky. They're very static-looking places, Earth-likes from space.
It's not like a car. It's not going to be...
We
think
don't
it's
see any
definitive.
test rockets coming out of North Korea over Japan or anything like that, do we?
Well, I imagine North Korea is a wasteland in 3308.
Well, either that or it's sunk due to, I don't know, global warming and, yeah.
Either that or an
Overrun by
amusement park.
bamboo.
possibly.
Yes. Yeah. This first article was all about...
It's described as a flying car, but actually I think it's a biplane that the wings fall off.
I don't think...
they fall off.
No. You know what it does?
Well, they fold in.
It goes up, right? It lifts up and then it tilts. So it's a bit like... See if you think of the...
That's a helicopter.
Like Boba Fett's.
Oh, wait, so your cockpit swivels, you take
Your
off and it...
cockpit swivels.
Oh.
You take off and your cockpit swivels and it flies what you would think of as roof first.
Well, that's
To
not
see
really
those-
aerodynamic.
So as you go screaming towards the scenery face first, with nothing between you and the scenery apart from a bit of domed glass. Apparently, it should also have a vertical takeoff. I mean, basically a Harrier
does.
jump jet.
I think it lifts off like a car and then everything swivels to it's on its side.
It lifts off like a car.
I
Yeah.
know
Not
we've got a
famous
bit of
for
a...
lifting
Dukes
off.
of Hazzard.
with
Dukes
this,
of Hazzard, Back to the Future.
with this energy
Smokey
crisis
and the
apparently
Bandit.
that's going on, where does one get 1.21 gigawatts from for this thing anyway?
Well, a lightning strike on the clock tower and a big cable.
Yeah.
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Time it would have to be immaculate.
Right, so biplanes. So we've gone back in time to the era of lobbing rocks at passing enemies out of biplanes.
So that's
And
back to the past.
forward in time to flying cars with
Should be the other way around, shouldn't it?
Well, here's an interesting one. It says technical hurdles are only one obstacle to building highways in the sky busy with flying cars. I'd imagine...
Those pesky technical obstacles. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, there's more obstacles. Those are only one part of the problem.
Yeah.
Those
One of the
pesky
hurdles,
technical obstacles. Those things called the laws of physics.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the hurdles is its phenomenal
How dare they.
68-mile range.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's
So
more than a GT40. Well, it's just about the same.
It makes a 10-year-old Nissan Leaf look like it's got a respectable
Well,
battery.
I mean, that's like from Heathrow to sort of yeet yourself over through the sky to, I don't know, London Stansted.
Westminster.
Yeah.
That is flying, though. A Nissan Leaf doesn't fly, does it?
Well, I don't know.
True.
Yep.
True.
Apparently, to fly a
It's too
biplane,
heavy.
even when you can drive on the roads, it will require a pilot's license, which puts it out of range of anybody who hasn't managed to afford Microsoft Flight Sim. Yeah. And though Mr. Duchovny envisions that for short, low-level hops over obstacles using vertical flight, a license used for drone operators might suffice. That sounds to me like a catapult, kaboing. Whee!
When it kaboings over, it doesn't change into a biplane. It can just lift and go over and down. But for longer flights, like up to 68 miles, you need to turn it in. It needs to flip sideways and fly.
Becomes a roller skate at 68 miles.
Yeah.
This
And-
Duchovny
It
chap.
becomes a crater
For
at
the
68 miles.
yeah, for the low price tag of 266,000 credits.
Bargain.
Yeah, we can get a space for that. Their ambitious goal is to start selling vehicles in 2025. Yes, right. Yank the other one.
So far, so good.
We'll be on the moon again by then.
You get 3
But-
years. Go for it.
We'll be somewhere in space. And talking of being somewhere in space, our second article, Flossy, have you got this second one handy?
Not at the moment. Hang on.
No, do you want me to do this?
Oh,
one?
no, I tell you what, the apology officer can get that one. You can have the third one, Flossie. So the second one is that in 3308, we are still waiting for the Rosalind Franklin Mars rover mission to be launched.
Or are we?
Yes.
It looks like ESA are taking up. The European Space Agency are working on it. What they've had to do is,
De-Russify it.
since Russia went all evil supervillain and invaded Ukraine, everybody's gone, well, we're not playing with the Russians anymore, so they have to take 2 Russian bits out. And because of all this and all the problems, it meant they missed the window to send it to Mars this time. So it looks like the ESA are going to team up with NASA, who will launch this thing, and they're going to get it to Mars by 2030.
Take out 2 Russian parts, you probably halve the weight.
Yeah, I think they're going to put other parts in the place of it, but they're taking, including a radioisotope heater to keep it warm.
Right. And the mission is to drill into rocks and look for prebiotic...
Yeah, it's going to one of the really, really old parts of Mars, and it's going to drill into them and find out what the ancient chemistry of Mars is like.
Prebiotic chemistry. I'm pretty sure that's yogurt, isn't it? They're looking for
I
yogurt.
think that's probiotic.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah. Don't go eating
This is
rocks,
when it was
people.
amateur before it went pro.
Yeah. So it's going to do that. And one of the things, guess what it does? Guess what it's got on it? A shake function.
Cuddly toy?
A what?
A hot tub?
function. So it can shake itself like a dog to remove all the dust.
Right.
You know how sometimes you get dust on the solar panels?
Oh, yeah.
And it cuts them down and all this. This thing can stop, give itself a shake, and get all the dust off, and then carry on.
So the ESA is sending a giant vibrator to Mars.
Yes.
Right, okay. Just
a giant vibrating car thing.
Does it fly?
Mars.
Oh, sorry, you're on the article.
Well, it will inside the rocket. It'll fly. But
Okay.
It doesn't turn into a biplane though.
Does it leave little poops behind, like
No,
Curiosity
it's not a
or,
pooper scooper one.
I think,
ramps?
and it's my fault
shaking
entirely for not having pictures of it this week. It looks a bit like Johnny Five with that little sort of neck and a head on top. It needs little flappy things on the corner,
It's actually going to use a satellite that's already orbiting Mars as a communication relay as well. So it'll send its information
one
up
of the
to
dozen.
the satellite, and the
Well,
satellite.
as long as they get it there soon enough and it hasn't, I don't know, fallen out the sky or...
Looks a bit like Wall-E.
Or Wall-E, yeah, it does,
This is a bit of a Wall-E look.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's probably its job is to junk all those previous robots that are currently littering Mars.
It's
And of
bringing
course-
them back, it's bringing them back for scrap.
See, other countries have these really grand spaceports and really famous names where they built it. We have built it in this awesome high-tech location in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stevenage.
Yeah.
But the spaceport.
Yeah,
No,
well,
this one's in Newquay.
yeah, it's been assembled in the ultra-clean facility in Stevenage.
Oh yeah, that's the facility for making the thing. Yeah, I thought you'd wandered on to the next thing.
It also says the company is hopeful rover modifications can be carried out in Britain. I hate to tell you, but the Longbridge plant closed down
Yeah,
about
rover
15
you
years
can't
ago.
you can't get the parts
Yeah.
for rovers now.
No, you really can't.
It was funny. I had some friends over to stay a few weeks ago, and we got talking about stuff, and I didn't really know very well what his wife did. I knew she was like a physicist or something, but then we started talking about the James Webb Space Telescope, and I said, "Oh, and part of this was made in Didcot," and she sort of looked, and then it dawned on me that's where she works. So she'd actually done some work on the on the really cold bit on James Webb, and I was like,
Oh, did you run over and touch her?
you know that bit where you suddenly feel thick.
All the time.
All
The only one in the room that doesn't have a
constantly.
PhD.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like,
Anyway, well, yeah, we've got more space news, Flossy.
Yes.
Our number 3 piece of sort of spacey kind of news. They found some virgins in space.
Yeah, a Virgin Orbit rocket arrives for first space launch from the UK.
Where in the country? Is it launching from deepest, darkest North Britain?
Newquay in Cornwall.
In UK, they're surfing it to space.
there are
with
lots
some
of
hippies.
words you could stick in front of Cornwall, sort of like rugged and timeless. But spaceport
Radioactive?
isn't-
That's a good
radioactive,
word
yeah,
for
that's a good
Cornwall,
one, yeah, and Devon. But spaceport isn't one of them.
But
It is now.
I love the
Inside our building.
phrase that Melissa Thorpe, head of Spaceport Cornwall, says. Apparently, we had so much happening this week. Bam, 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 back-to-back exciting moments for virgins. Yes.
It's in Cornwall, though. They might as well call it Spaceport London, like London Stansted.
Yeah.
London, Birmingham.
But you see, that unlike the guys and girls down in, for instance, New Zealand, they've got their little spaceport for their little rockets, or Elon Musk and his great big one, and that other fellow with the big phallic thing. They're not launching them with rockets the traditional way. They found a much more efficient way to launch them. They're going to strap them. No, they're going to strap them to a big airliner, 747.
Yeah, I did wonder about that. I thought when they mentioned the horizontal launch system, you go, that's not how you launch a rocket.
I thought that meant something else entirely.
Well, I mean, do you think the
been done.
plane has to turn upside down and drop it and then it blasts off? Or I mean,
I think the plane's there and it's doing testing. It's called a Cosmic Girl.
Yeah, but just like Virgin.
that's a
One.
song, isn't it? No, I thought that was Jamiroquai. But anyway,
Yeah, but the other Virgin, was it Virgin 1 or Space 1, whatever it's called, the little plane thing.
Spaceship
That's Spaceship 1, that's right. And that launches horizontally as well. They sort of
Yeah, it comes off the top of a plane.
the
doesn't
big
it?
wingy. Well, it drops off the bottom, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
And
it drops off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the jet fires. So imagine something like that. I mean, to be honest, the Germans were doing this from Norway during the Second World War. They would fly an ankle with a V1 strapped to it, and then because they were out of range of and then let it go. And to be honest, this thing is 20. What is it? 20 meters. It's not big.
I mean, it's quite a large, quite a large thing. I'm just sort of
I mean,
reading
a
ahead.
V2 was 14 meters.
Well, they're also talking about the various satellites they launched. The first ever Welsh satellite, the Popty-Ping 0, which is the size of a toaster.
It's lovely.
Oh,
Size of a
Make a nice
microwave,
one forever.
surely.
get your pot noodle on time.
Oh, you're right. It goes pop, not Popty-Ping. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's called Ford Star.
Okay.
Ford Star -0.
Which will make advanced materials in space. Well, we need those because, you need to put Flossy's Type 9 back together with advanced materials. So, it's important.
But there you go. Wales have joined the space race.
Commander Volcaria says that surely Cornwall is perfect where Goon Hilly Earth Station can track it, so they don't need a so longer wire.
Oh,
Perfect.
goodness
Yeah.
gracious me.
Yeah.
It
means you can use a party line and not worry too much about it.
So if we get back to 3308 rather than looking at sort of the annals of time back from
the
2022 prime ministers ago, Thargwatch. I'll throw this name out there because I've been away for weeks and weeks and weeks, and when I left, there were 2 swirly things heading towards the bubble.
Oh, last I heard there were 8.
There are 8 swirly things. And have we confirmed
Last count.
Confirmed that the swirly things are actually heading towards the bubble, or they're just meandering around nearby?
Definitely one or the other.
Definitely one or the other. So
definitely one of those.
They were there, and they might be coming here.
They seem to be a bit indecisive. I don't know if they keep having shifts and changing drivers or whatever. But
Well, I do remember
every
hearing an
Thursday-
article about that, with stopping for directions or going off in a straight line, and
Yeah.
Probably some
Every
mail
Thursday they
fire
seem to
or
swap drivers and they'll either head towards the bubble or not. So I'm not sure which week we're on now.
Are
See, you
people
don't get
doing
this quality of
Wotherspoon going to tell us
journalism.
later on, maybe?
well, what we
absolutely.
do rely on Wotherspoon to digest
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Tell
You don't
us
get
what's
this
going
quality
on
of
there.
journalism anywhere else. I think.
No, not at all. Not at all. But basically, there are 8 things. They're heading vaguely this way. They're not here yet. Do we know vaguely when they might be getting here? Even. I mean, if I'm going to gird my
Soon.
loins, when am I doing the
Soon.
girding?
Soon.
You don't want to gird early,
Soon TM.
No.
No. All right. Okay.
You don't want to keep girding if you gird early either. It can get quite unpleasant.
And do we know if they're dangerous yet?
Nope.
Yep. And
Speaking
They
of...
either will be, or conversely, they won't be.
yeah, that's hedging your bets a tiny bit there. I mean, obviously, the most dangerous thing we have in the bubble at the moment is a forum troll, but maybe they could be more dangerous than a forum troll. But you never know.
I was gonna...
There is also the possibility that there are actually only 7 of them, and the 8th one is just going around trick-or-treating, and it's just a kid in a sheet.
A swirly, multicoloured sheet
yeah,
that leaves funny wakes in its. And
He's got
when
a
I
very
left,
talented mother.
His
what-
mum made it for him.
when I left, there were some rumours that they were upgrading the for sake scanner to try and find them easier or do so. Do we know what that did yet? The upgrade to the scanner?
I think it made people swear at the scanner a lot, but other than that, I'm not sure.
No. Okay, so we're still using the Mark 1 eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's something moving in the wrong direction. We better check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, fair enough. So was there a live stream this week, Commander Chicks?
No. It was
No.
last week. Because Sally was abducted. Or kidnapped or invited on a trip with Bruce. And was it Adam behind the screen, behind the camera?
Well, I thought it was Adam who did the kidnapping.
No.
I mean, he walked in at the end of it, behind them.
Didn't look like... Yeah, but Adam was already there, so that couldn't have been him. He can't...
But Adam, well, maybe, yeah. So, but
be there,
there was a
yeah.
message from Sally saying she was okay and she'd been found somewhere on Galtwit.
There was a message from Sally saying, "Here's your nice new shiny paint job that you won in the live stream chat. Thank you very much."
All right, well, so at least we know Sally's okay. Maybe she had Jonesy the cat with her. Maybe she wore a big exosuit and was fighting aliens and didn't tell us about it.
Blew it out the airlock.
Blew it out the yeah. One of those things, get away from them. Anyway, we're not going to broadcast that on the air yet. Yeah, maybe later. Okay, so Thargoids, no change. But there has been a change in the Too Hot Too Messy. You heard about it earlier. We've accelerated a little bit this week.
Yeah, they were up sort of 50% or more this week. Don't know what's going on, but this week looks to match it.
Well, maybe we blame the CGs. Don't know.
Super.
Yeah.
Pass, don't know.
But-
Sudden burst of enthusiasm.
Well, talking of bursts of enthusiasm, I suppose we ought to be enthusiastic about this week's mug winner. Is it 12 or 11 this week? 12.
12.
12. So 11 people have already won.
Right. So can we have a drum roll and then somebody pass the hat around?
It's quite a long one, this.
Oh, don't give it me. Come on.
And this week's mug winner is Waller81. Congratulations, Commander Waller81. Well done on saving a lot of people from mods. Do we have any
Well
stats
done, David.
do we have any stats?
Waller81. God, you would ask me this, wouldn't you?
Well, he's looking that up, but I will say is Waller81, you need to email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and make yourself known to us. And from there, we'll get your details and get your mug sent out.
If you were listening earlier, Waller81 had more than 1,750. He's on 1,768 at the moment. Mugs.
Oof.
1,756.
Yeah, and if you're watching the top right-hand corner of the screen on Twitch, you might see Waller81's name go past. Who we got? We got Hero Dots and Kresniks, and at the moment doing deliveries.
Third place.
Lots of Hero Dots.
Lots of Hero Dots. Where is
Third
Hero
place.
Dot on the
Very
table?
nice.
Let's have a look. How's Hero Dot doing? Hero Dot, you're up to 130, Hero Dot. Well done. But yes, Waller81, please do send an email as per the apology officer's message there to itookpart@hotnovel.com. Vaguely prove that you're you, and we will forward that to the post room, and the post room will then wrap it up in something to send out to you. We've not seen any picture. We've seen emails back saying, "Oh wow, cheers, I've got my mug," but we've not seen any selfies with mugs yet. So if you do get your mug and you are listening, please do send us a selfie of you becoming mods free. It's very important to encourage the others.
And it's a much more pleasant way of becoming mods free than the one of being stabbed in the arm that seems to be going around at the moment.
Yeah, I
as
did
well,
that.
so-
Flossy, you have you had any more stabby arms recently? Or have you had your flus?
I had a
and
stabby arm booster recently.
yeah, I had two.
I've got mine just before the
But,
show next week.
We haven't
I
had
had
the
one
flu
this
one
morning
yet.
and one next. Yeah, I had one this morning and one next week, and now it hurts when I do that. Ow!
Now,
Do that then.
we have a choice before we roll over the page after the Waller81 bit, because we do have a special video this week.
We do.
Because we're going to be, a few of us over at HCS are going to be heading over to Hollywood in a few weeks. We're going to be heading over to LA and to Hollywood to spend some time with the lovely Claudia Christian, the voice of Gamma, who is one of the new voice packs. Hopefully catching up with one or two of the LA-based voices that are there as well. We're heading out there for 6 days to get a new voice pack recorded. And the maestro, Paul, has been busy putting teaser videos together. And, but Paul felt that there was just not enough story going on at the moment while we're waiting for the Thargoids to turn up. So he'd be coming up with a little something. Should we do it now, before that line there about the bank vaults? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
So I'm going to mute them. I'm going to remove this from the screen. There we go. I'm going to mute them. Now, I haven't pushed buttons for weeks, so somebody tell me if we're getting double feedback, echo, super problems. But assuming we aren't, here is the video.
A lot of people just going about their business as if the recent events didn't happen. There's an eerie quiet almost everywhere you go. To me, It just feels like the eve of something more than ominous is about to happen, followed by a mass exodus of humanity across the galaxy. Who knows? Maybe this whole thing with the flare will pass and everything will get back to normal. That's the hope, right? But I rather believe this eerie quiet in the aftermath of recent events will soon be replaced with panic. Lots of panic.
Pausing entry.
Why?
We are being hailed.
I got it, Vega. Connor's here.
Connors, it's been a while.
That it has. I'm headed to the Lave system for some well-deserved leave. We should meet. I have some very lucrative mining locations you might want to know about.
Look, something's come up. I need a favor.
Alright, shoot. I'm listening.
There's a ship, the Bastion. 24 hours ago, I responded to a distress call from that ship. Turns out that the Bastion has been caught up in an ugly face-off with a Thargoid. They were on a salvage mission for the Federation to recover cargo before being attacked.
I've heard something about a pile of Federation vessels shot to pieces and rotting away there. A scavenger's paradise. If you don't mind the risk. And Thargoids. They like to vacation in that spot.
All I know is the Bastion ended up without power and dead in the water. The commander was badly injured and in a bad way, so when I finally arrived there about 18 hours ago to assist, the priority was to immediately medevac her away from the vessel, along with the rest of her crew. Two of the commander's key personnel insisted on remaining in an attempt to make good on repair and save the salvage they'd recovered. I didn't have time to argue with them, and given the life-threatening injuries that the commander had sustained, I had no choice but to leave them there and get her to safety. Are you following?
Yeah, I get it. You rescued the princess and some of her crew and left two of them on the Bastion.
The plan for me was to go back with a hauler and retrieve the cargo and some mission-critical encrypted correspondence that the Bastion went there to find. And to get the remaining personnel off that ship. But about 2 hours ago, whilst on my way back, we lost contact with the Bastion. It gets worse. I've now been given new orders to attend a Coriolis station right here that's heavily damaged and on fire. Priorities have changed and I can't get to the Bastion.
Okay, so what do you need me to do?
I'm transmitting the exact sector coordinates along with specific intel on the whereabouts of the Bastion. Connors, this isn't just a rescue mission. There's some encrypted correspondence in the debris field that must be recovered. And that's going to be your #1 priority.
Coordinates received. So I'll be looking for the two heroes and some cargo containing encrypted correspondence. What else?
Unlikely that there's going to be any survivors now. There's been no communication from the Bastion for some time, and I fear the worst for them. I'm afraid this one may just be more like a salvage operation than a rescue. We'll see. But if the remaining crew have indeed survived, get them aboard your ship and quickly.
Understood.
They'll be in possession of encrypted correspondence data that was being recovered from the debris field, I hope. If so, your job is to assist them with where they need to be with that data, and fast. They're going to need your ship and your help to get them to an outpost nearby in the system.
Right now I'm a long way out from that system. You sure I'm your best option? I might take a while.
I may already have a solution to get you there a little quicker. There's a carrier in that system called the Hot Property, and they've been ordered to head this way to help with the Coriolis rescue effort. The problem is, at the moment they're on a 15-minute countdown before they jump out of the system you're in.
It'll be faster if I can park up on that carrier and hitch a ride with them. Vega, can we make it to the Hot Property in time?
Negative. Not an option, Commander.
Wait a second. That carrier is under the command of Hutton Orbital.
Hutton Orbital? Sounds vaguely familiar.
I could try and pull in a favor. I'll send a communication to the carrier and see if I can pull some strings and get them to wait for you. I suggest you make your way there anyway.
Already on my way.
I'll be in touch when you reach the debris field. Good luck, and let's hope they wait around for you.
Ooh.
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 They asked us a favour, hey? Hitch a lift.
Yeah. Wait for us.
They'll
wait
be
for
sorry.
Us. Hold the bus, they shouted.
Yeah, hold the bus. Yeah, well, so yeah, well, thanks to Paul and the rest of the crew at HCS for featuring Hutton Orbital in that video. Part 2.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun to make as well.
I understand part 2 is the actual rescue operation is coming tomorrow, probably.
What?
Yes,
I'll be watching that.
And there might be a part 3 thereafter, but all of this is the build up towards the Gamma voice pack as well.
Part 3, the long walk home.
But yeah, it's sort of all tied in with all the current shenanigans and what's going on, and trying to sort of weave a little bit of a tale. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a story going on. Yeah, we're bored of that flare thing that went and happened now. That was months ago. So we're just trying to bridge the gap a little bit and see what we can do. And thanks to Nocti as well for some of the footage. There's more. There's planets, there are rings, there are beacons, all sorts of things. There are Thargoids, strange noises. But yes, there's some story coming up.
Are there things that go bump in the night?
There are definitely things that go bump in the night. Thank you very much for the comment on Epic VT. Yeah, it was great fun to make, albeit, I was away for much of it. But I just had to jump my carrier. I've been using the Steam Deck, hopping onto it while I'm sort of sitting in some venue somewhere, jumping the carrier, especially to certain systems, so that they can get the footage. I think I might be running out of fuel and money in that thing sometime soon. Anyway, but people who aren't running out of fuel and money and things, hang on a second. Somebody's written a joke in... apology officer?
Yeah.
Is that you that's written that?
That is, yeah.
Go on.
You want me to read it out?
Go on.
What do you call an anteater outside the bank vault?
Lost?
Colin?
Is he wearing a balaclava?
Oh, God. Right. Flossy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go. I'm going to push a button.
It's over to Flossy with the CG News.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. Last week's CGs. Governor chases Xeno Peace megaship, where the Federal Governor Dalton Chase requests deliveries to the Andavandal system to establish a Xeno Peace envoy vessel. This finished just short of Tier 2, with 15.4 million units collected. And Protect delivery transports to Andavandal finished short of Tier 3, with 49.3 billion credits earned. There are no new CGs this week, but there are some very spooky things happening in the galaxy. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Thanks, Flossy. And now it's time for the Uncle Fester and Cousin It of the news world. It's Beetlejude and Wotherspoon with the Galnet News Digest.
Galnet News Digest, 27th of October, 3308. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Hadrian is the Emperor's new friend. There's a clamour for unity, and Governor Dalton sets up a peace convoy as the number of Starboys increases to 8.
Isolationist Hadrian Duval, once the figurehead of the isolationist movement Nova Imperium, has come out in favour of isolationism, in a move that will have surprised no one. What is perhaps surprising to Hadrian as much as anyone is that Emperor Arissa is also backing what were until recently niche policies, and that Hadrian has therefore been able to unreservedly back the Emperor in her build the Imperial Navy and let the Federation and Alliance fend for themselves approach to dealing with the Thargoids. And so Hadrian, who was once a pretender to the imperial throne and an enemy of the state, now finds himself as a, for now, loyal supporter of the Emperor. Perhaps the Emperor will find it in her heart to reward Hadrian with a title. Bizarrely, it's now Princess Aisling who finds herself isolated in the imperial family as the one person who wants to continue engaging with the other superpowers.
The whole galaxy is talking about the coming Thargoid threat, for all that the scientists insist we can't be sure what the Stargoids, huge pinwheels of light shooting through the galaxy and very definitely in the direction of Sol. For all that we can't say for certain what they are, it seems inevitable that they will be something to do with the Thargoids. At their current rate of travel, the first of the Stargoids will arrive at Alpha Centauri and be asking about obtaining the permit for Sol at Halloween. So there's really not much time left to formulate a response. And so humanity is doing what humanity does best. It is panicking. The Empire wants to go it alone, yet the Citizen's Chronicle reminds her that the Empire played a part in the HIP 22460 disaster and owes it to humanity to work with the other powers to put matters right. The Federation has made the Far God cult illegal, yet the Federal Free Press describes the move as a deliberate distraction from President Hudson's failure to get a grip on the Thargoid situation, and suggests that, without the Empire and the Alliance, the Federation might have trouble fighting them off. Prime Minister Edmund Mahon is sure that the Alliance can manage just fine with the help of Sirius, but Deputy Prime Minister Angela Corcoran, who attended Professor Albert Esro's symposium, reckons the Alliance should be backing the reinstatement of Aegis as a means of getting all humanity working together. The Marlinists are worried they're closer to the Stargoids than the rest of the bubble, and will be delighted to cooperate with the superpowers to create a defence against them. The Sovereign recognises that not everyone shares the Thargoid Advocacy Project's desire for a negotiated settlement. Sol today charmingly points out that the Imperials and Alliance may have their faults, but at least they're not tentacled aliens bent on wiping out humanity. Quoting General Falconrath, they remind their readers that my enemy's enemy is my disposable cannon fodder. Perhaps it's Vox Galactica that sums matters up best. Despite the superpower's apparent desire to go it alone, there's a growing realisation that the Thargoids are on the point of unleashing something far worse than we have seen before, and that we're going to have to work together to address this existential threat. A reformed Aegis may be a banner we can form behind, or there may be other solutions. Doing nothing is not an option.
Following yet another discovery, there are now 8 Stargoids being tracked. But the good news is that Governor Dalton's peace convoy looks like it's going ahead. The 8th unidentified interstellar anomaly, or Stargoid, was identified late on Friday night. It's offset from the other 7 Stargoids, leading to concerns that if the Thargoids like geometrical patterns, then a whole new row of the things might appear. All of the Stargoids are heading towards the human-inhabited core systems, although some, notably Stargoids 1 and 3, are much closer than others. Less than 700 light-years from Sol. The new Stargoid is now in the Uchost RQ-D A94-0 system, more than 2,000 light-years from Sol, so it seems unlikely that all the Stargoids will arrive in the bubble at the same time. Commentators fear the Stargoids, which are travelling too fast to be intercepted, but which make an interesting sound when targeted in the FSS, and which make spectacular flypasts, may be some sort of Thargoid Death Star, come to wreak a terrible vengeance for Salvation's attempt to wipe out the Thargoids. Ranged against the Thargoids and this potential new Stargoid threat, we have the Federation and Empire, which are going it alone with their military responses, and which both seem inexplicably confident that they can fight off a wasp's nest of Thargoids despite no significant evidence that they can. And the Alliance, which is relying on the Sirius Corporation to keep it safe. Azimuth Biotech seems eager to try to re-establish itself as an anti-Xeno organisation despite the mess it made in HIP 22460, and the remains of Aegis continues to work with the Project Seraph test subject, formerly known as D2, Ramtar, and Professor Palin, on Xiaojing Ai's claim that she can interpret Thargoid communication. Palin and Tar have also been researching the green unclassified relics that you get when you feed Guardian relics into a Thargoid structure. And then there's the pro-Xeno peace movement. Federal Governor Dalton has gained just enough support to construct a flagship for the peace convoy the Thargoid Advocacy Project plans to send to attempt to communicate with the Thargoids so we can all live in peace together. There are some formidable barriers to overcome, such as how to prevent the Thargoids from destroying the peace convoy on site, and how to communicate with them in some sort of universal language. But if they can overcome these problems, everyone will welcome the prospect of an end to the senseless war with the Thargoids. Except, perhaps, the Anti-Xeno Initiative.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejude and Wotherspoon. I've got to say that's not where I thought he was going to insert a light bulb. Still, as long as it lights up. And speaking of festering and shoving things into unexpected orifices, it's over to Mia Harkness with the Hutton Helper results.
I am still muted. Right, anyway, that was one time with the inserting things, that's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Seamless.
Overlighting his editing skills.
Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a big cabinet, which will fall to pieces at the first sign of trouble. This week we have the following events. The resigned in exile to the Baku Yacht Cup. The T9 full of competence enhancers Champion of Champions Championship. The Apathy Award, or whatever, Deja Vu Trophy. The resigned on principle and rehired a week later Charity Shield. The pass the backhander under the cabinet table Party Game Spectacular. And the Kia Ministerial Car People's Choice Award. So, get your buzzword bingo card ready, follow the smell of bullshit and manage your expectations. The Hutton Helper results are: Cometborn jumped 195,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. Next, Mindwhippy sold 43,000 tonnes of cargo. Mindwhippy also is our top mission runner with 983 mission points. Alex Zuno has handed in 888,888,888 credits worth of bounties this week. Miet11 has handed in 859 million credits of combat bonds. Gotensk 82 delivered 521 people to their various destination. So that's decals this week for Gotensk, 82, me at 11, and Crash Harper for Thargoids Killed. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of a compass, a map, and a false arse, same as last week. There have been 26 Hutton runs in the last 7 days, and the top 5 are, this is very familiar, Impala Mark with 1 hour, 22 minutes and 52 seconds, Manu Warkle with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 32 seconds, BJ McKay with 1 hour, 24 minutes dead on, Bandicoot with 1 hour, 24 minutes and 6 seconds, Torquay Mouse with 1 hour, 24 minutes and 12 seconds, so you need to be fast. Anyway, there's a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing dismembered, exsanguinated, manhandled or woman-handled, smeared, drained, deflected, irrigated, sniffed, snuffled, postponed, hidden from, flipped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, chilled, mugged, gin, ship, shot, rescued, looted, repaired, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, sandblatted, sponged down, smelled, licked, discombobulated, recombobulated, headbutted, rubbed, unexpectedly edited, compressed, enveloped, regurgitated, strained, fermented, poached, interrobanked, upcycled, violently downcycled, smelled, loved, adored, cherished, and probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the spectacular new Hutton Helper, available in 3 exciting formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than having a party wit removed. Anyway, that's it for me for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Oh, you see, I thought I was going to get away with no seams this week, but
as if we'd let that happen to you.
That was deliberate. That one, wasn't it? That was payback for the inserting blank chicks. We don't do blank chicks here.
Just rubber chicks.
That what thing is a monumental? Pardon?
I've said never mind.
Oh, did I miss something?
No, you didn't miss anything. Never mind. Move on.
Move on. All
Nothing
right.
to see here. Move on.
Yeah, but we have loved, adored, cherished, probinated, smelt, violently downcycled, upcycled, interrobanked, poached, fermented, strained, regurgitated, enveloped, compressed, unexpectedly edited, rubbed, headbutted, recombobulated, discombobulated, licked, smelled, and everything else.
You forgot manhandled.
Did I?
Or women-handled.
No, that was at the top. I only got halfway through from the bottom. I was starting at the bottom and working my way up, as they say. Talking about starting at the bottom and working our way up, we're working our way up to the green room in a second.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Right. We've got a few people in the green room. Now, we've got a choice, as usual, to bring them in here, or we can run through next door. There are more of us than them. Who's feeling lazy?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Always.
Yeah. Now, before we move anybody out of the green room into here, you need to make sure you've done the magic button thing so that you don't get completely deafened by everything that's going on when we pause.
Okay, explain what the magic button thing is and how to do
Right.
it, please.
So if you are joining in the green room, if you want to, in your TeamSpeak, just go to the tools and the options, and you want to go to the playback option and turn off the automatic voice volume leveling. Because if you don't, when we go quiet, it gets really, 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 really noisy in your ears. And people go, what? No, it's too loud. I can't hear. It's backing music. Yeah. So just to give you a second, people in the green room, you want to go to Tools, Playback, and turn off the automatic voice volume leveling. Are they nodding yet, do you think? Well, we know Commander Aiden's got it right, so let's drag Commander Aiden in. Here we go. We know Commander Aiden's got it right. And let's drag... Oh, there's a Valkyrius. Let's grab the Valkyrius. There we go. There's
let's
Valkyrius.
do one at a time so we know who to blame.
Yeah, and the final one is Eros. Ooh, right. There we go. We've dragged them into the live room. Hello, everybody who was in the green room. You're now in the live studio. Are you there?
Sort of.
Oh, there's Commander Aiden.
Evening.
Oh, there's a Valkyrius. And do we have an Eros as well?
I think so.
Oh, there we
Hey,
go.
full
Yay!
set.
We got a full set. Right. We're just going to... we'll work it out as we go along. I'm going to start with the first one, then I'll pick on people. I'm going to say hello to Volcarius.
Oh, hello, 21.
And how...
And good evening, Hutton Orbital, I should say.
Oh, absolutely. And so, Volcarius, obviously, my opportunity to say to you, I mean, how the blazes are you? And, I mean, other than the things we know about from the broadcast, I think it was last week when we broadcast your marvellous words.
It was. I was going to talk about that. Although, I've got a question for the apology officer, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Why did the pirate starship need a space doctor?
I don't know. Why did the pirate starship need a space doctor?
It was illegal.
Right.
Well, shots are fired. I mean, this is from a combat pilot such as yourself. That's comedy shots fired. Or was that return fire after the Aardvark joke?
It was return fire. I did say I was coming out of job retirement. Due to that. Well done.
Yeah, I think it deserved all I got for the Aardvark joke, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, yeah, so
and more.
After Flossy featured it quite well last week, you know what I've been doing.
Well, yes, so I'm just calling up your words because obviously we put them in the script and then we summarised them in 2 short sentences at the end of the news. I think we got it right in our little summary version.
I think, well, you read it mostly verbatim, so...
Well, yeah, but we added a translation at the end of it as well. But so your new service that you've been launching and preparing is INTRA or Intra?
Intra, yeah. It's our new search index for the best bounty hunting locations. That's iniv.space/intra.
Does it have a link for your ship naming system?
Does it have the what for what of our ship?
Does it have a link to the ship name? Remember the ship name generator?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it does desire and things like that.
They don't link to each other. I suppose you could go to the main page and then go to the ship naming system.
Yeah, I can do that.
Right. So, but Intra works with EDMC, yeah.
It does have a EDMC plugin. That's not the main source. As of a few days ago, at least it wasn't. It's complicated. I'll get to that part. So yeah, it finds you at what we call a shop full of missions and an arena full of pirates, where one is in range of the other. I can say the launch went very well. Just over the last week or so, we had some quite delighted bounty hunters. We've had commanders who've been writing their own scripts for this sort of thing, thanking us for the downloadable arena data with all the compromised nav beacon and res locations. And we also had people asking to take a look at the server code for it, which I consider a massive compliment.
Absolutely. So, I mean, as far as I can tell, I mean, it's got an in and an out. The EDMC plugin is the in bit where people could put data in, but it's not the only in for the data because you're harvesting data from, is it community data feeds?
So the faction data comes from EDDN.
Yep.
That was going to be it, and that is the main part. Just the other day, so this was after launch, I said last month that we couldn't get arena signals from EDDN. Well, it turned out that we can. I was watching that EDDN feed, looking for... I had a script looking for keywords such as hazardous or compromised, and had got absolutely nothing for like a whole day. Then, while I was writing the EDMC plugin to do the same job, I found that those were just localized names, and the real names for those places are things like Multiplayer Scenario 78.
Yep.
Yeah, so a couple of days ago, look back at EDDN, and those signals were right there. So I updated Intra straight away, and since then, it now has arena data for well over 40% of the populated systems.
So I might have to do some joined up thinking with you because there's the wonderful little command that we've got is plot a course to my nearest built into the HCS voice packs, which does plot a course to my nearest, insert things like black market here and all sorts. And I'm just thinking out loud, plot a course to my nearest compromised nav beacon.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. So if you just switch off the shop options, you can do an arena search. You can put, for example, the CNBs in Elite 4 to yes. And
I'll have to get my people to talk to your people to do the thing, if you know what I mean.
That'll be basically you'll need a back-end API for that rather than the web page.
Well, we'll have to talk offline. So how, I mean, obviously you can find compromised nav beacons, which are great bounty hunting locations, but obviously resource extraction sites are super good, and in fact the ones with no cops in are even better. I think for money.
Yes, the hazardous.
But you're grading them based on owning faction and what state it's in, or.
So you've got the super cruise distances. The top results, those shop arena pairs, are based on primarily the number of factions in the shop. If you have certain features such as the power play bonus for bounty claims in the arena, you get +1 faction worth of value. That's the kind of benefit side. It also totals up the cost side, which is the super cruise distance to the shop and the super cruise distance to the arena. If you have given it a reference system, it also considers your hyperspace distance as well.
Right, but I mean, does it look at current BGS state as well, just out of curiosity?
Oh yes. So
things like under pirate attack might be a great place, sort of.
No, actually not. If we were to go for positive BGS states, the first thing is actually civil unrest. Pirate attack's not so good. Well, I mean, it's indifferent. Actually, the pirate attack signals are not by a long way the best place to go hunting. The enemies there don't pay more, and they're incredibly tough.
Right, and this is for use with kill warrant scanner as well as just core bounties as well.
The stats page tracks those, so that's more of an experiment. There's no real data on how much more credits you're going to get when you use a kill warrant scanner. So the intra plugin, if you use that while you're hunting, it will track whether you're using a kill warrant scanner. If you're not, it'll just contribute to the base bounties. If you are, it'll also contribute to the kill warrant scanner bounties as well.
So you're harvesting good data on, well, where are people getting rich? Go join them quick, because there are loads of money in pirates here at the moment.
That part doesn't harvest where. We tell them where, put it that way. And also, you asked about the BGS aspect of it. So the individual factions in a shop aren't all equal necessarily. Depending on the BGS, some might not be useful at the present time. For example, if they're at war.
Yes.
Yeah, anarchy factions do nothing they don't contribute to the shop. However, one is required for an arena.
Fair point, yep.
And also we found, Alexandra found, after who knows how much research, that if you've got a good faction in the shop, but it owns the arena system, then you also don't get missions. Ooh. Presumably to stop you double dipping on that influence.
Well, that's just rude by the BGS gods. Double dipping's yeah. I mean, I do with my hobnobs, and it's a gamble, isn't it? You double dip your hobnob, you might end up with soggy bits in the bottom. Yeah,
you only get half of it back if you do that.
Okay, yes. Obviously, danger not being relevant to most people because res sites, as long as you're not carrying cargo and flying a Sidewinder, generally speaking, you can rinse them relatively well. I mean, are you accumulating any data on how quickly they run out? Because I have noticed that res sites occasionally run out and you have to sort of hop out again and back in again. Is there any general knowledge you can give us on how long before you outstay your welcome?
Oh, well, the quickest thing to do, if you're in Elite 3, you just boost away a little bit and then enter Super Cruise, but pointed at the ring.
Right.
And then you'll immediately drop into a new ring.
It'll say OMG too close.
Exactly. Assuming there's no one else already there and open, for example. In Odyssey, you can do the same thing. Although you have to move a bit further out, I recommend about 15 kilometers before you do it. The reason is, if you do it too close, you will super cruise through the ring.
Yes, which sounds painful.
I have a theory about why this is the case. I think it's to protect Apex. I don't think Apex knows how to avoid a ring, so that's why that happens.
Well, far be it for us to speculate about Apex and their behaviour. Right, I mean, in terms of results, though, I mean, people using the interest system then are reporting a much higher income from an hour session, or
it's only been online a while, so we need to. I need to make a forum account and start like talking to people about what sort of results they get. But the what I can say is, so right now.
Oh, we've lost you. You vanished. Oh, you're back.
Sorry, hello.
Yep, you're there again.
So so right now, I just ran a search with 8 in the minimum factions, and there were 2 matches, like 2 pairs earlier. One of them just went into war, though. However, right now, HIP 43670 has 8 factions, which all give master commissions, all for one arena, which has a has-res at 2,000 light seconds. So if you were to invest your reputation in HIP 43670, and so you get all those factions, you get the reputation up, and you take top level, like sort of elite level pirate master commissions from every faction, you'd be getting about 11 million credits a kill, even if it's like an eagle.
Ooh, that sounds juicy. That sounds a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah, I mean, if you go read Hunter, and
you can't exhaust these, unlike trade. You know, the various trade searches where people get there and the prices have all changed. These will run for the whole day or the whole. You know, it'll be valid for a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, at least a day. If too many hunters are all doing missions for all the factions, they'll kind of move towards the mean and all go into war. Although that said, the population of that system is over 2 billion, so good luck.
Yeah, it's a bit like trying to move Epsilon Indy. It's a 0.1 a day if you're working it really, really hard. Yeah. Well, it sounds fantastic. So go on. Where do people find your marvellous work here? How do they find it?
They go to iniv.space/intra, or just go to iniv.space and click on intra.
Yeah, iniv.space/intra.
Yeah, we think you can top 1 billion an hour if you use a nice speedy starship.
Well, see, given that I've only got one day between sort of being home and being away again, it might be a good opportunity for me to sort of drop a carrier in and with some reload facilities and go bounty hunting.
Yeah, I mean, a good 7-faction system works too. There are many, many, many of those. I mean, even if you consider the average, it'll be like 5. You can imagine a normal 6-faction system, one of them anarchy. So you have to do some tricky BGS stuff to get more than 6 factions, up to 8. You have to abuse the retreat system. But 7 factions, pretty freaking good.
Well, fantastic. I mean, it might well be that if you don't mind, when we come back on Thursdays, if you ping us a little message saying, and this week's tip-top system is for bounty hunting, we could broadcast it on the radio, courtesy of Intra from iniv.space.
Well, potentially. It kind of changes by the day.
So for a Thursday,
if it's good, I suppose, yeah. It's also around the time things tick as well. Well, we'll see.
Well, it was I'm just throwing ideas. Other than that, outside doing all the programming of the cool code for Intra, life been good? Up to anything else fun? Or are you just like a complete code hound at the moment?
You could say the latter.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Well, it's always some sort of project, though. So.
All right,
go on then. I did indeed make you a green room system, which I don't think. Well, the apology office mentioned it. I can show you it afterwards if you want.
No, absolutely, or ping me a message.
That's the system for doing this.
Which is for not putting seams in the green room section. You know, I know we like our seams a little bit, but yeah, we'll have to have a look. Yeah, we'll have a chat afterwards. But
yeah, sure. Unless you want me to direct the green room. But
well, do you have a magic button?
I don't have a button. I can tell you who should talk to whom, though.
Right, well, given assuming we're winding up here a little bit, and I'm going to stop talking and you're going to stop talking, if you can tell me who is next to speak to the next person, that would be marvellous.
It thinks that Chicks should speak to Aiden.
Hi, Aiden. How are you? How's your week been? See, it works seamlessly. How did that happen?
Well, I'm fine, thanks. You know,
Get the hot tip.
Pardon?
Hot tip. Harvey Nicks.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I've still got about a third of the last bottle left, but
yeah,
I did bring back 2 bottles of Abuelo 12, one of which was a wood cask. So
in case anybody is wondering, we're talking about rum.
Yes, it's a shocking state of affairs.
I've got myself 3 bottles of rum on the way from Harvey Nichols.
Did you go for the Companiera in the end?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
and it's 20% cheaper than it ordinarily would be.
Yeah, why not?
So, have you been in game much?
Not really.
Busy working?
Not so much. Just sort of taking a tiny break.
When you going away again at some point, weren't you?
Well, that was the plan, but due to family stuff, that got rearranged. So yeah, in theory, I would have been away or flying back now.
Where was it again?
Cyprus.
Oh yeah, do remember. Nice there this time of year.
Yeah, but had to rearrange that. So yeah, that's getting. In theory, that will be in end of March. So, but other than that, yeah, work is work. I'm doing. Basically, I'm just splitting my time at the moment between running missions in BattleTech and taking over the galaxy in Stellaris. So, you know.
So you're not delivering mugs?
Not at the moment. No, I have delivered some mugs, but
100 I saw earlier.
Yeah, exactly 100.
Not that I'm keeping track at all by any chance.
But other than that, I don't have anything to say really.
You do. You have one further
thing
to say.
Yeah.
Oh, there is this mug thing that we're all supposed to be for, I suppose.
See the thing.
Deliver the mug.
Yeah, for the mug.
Yay!
Yay, mug.
Got there. So, Volcarius.
He's linked it in chat. Next, we
yeah,
have our apology officer talking to Eros.
Oh, Commander Eros. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What have you been doing this week? Have you been doing things?
I've not been. I've been finding things which have been taking me away from the game. The only thing I can really report is that I think a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, I brought the carrier back from deep space. So it's in the bubble, and since then I did some pew-pewing to do some suit upgrades. So bit of murder, You know, bit of casual murder.
I'll come back to that later when it's my turn. It's very familiar to me.
Other than that, I don't know, work and the two things that have been keeping me sort of away from the game. I found a development environment so I can make a platformer for the ZX Spectrum, because obviously that's the kind of thing you want to do.
Yeah.
And I also discovered Midjourney, Stable Diffusion. So I've been generating random art, if you want to call it art.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard about Midjourney. I've tried Wombo is the one I've tried.
Yeah, most of the time it's when I'm first trying to do the prompts, it gives me images where people's faces are like nightmare fuel. And then I realize I have to tell it that I want it to make it look like somebody who's, taggable.
Yes.
But it makes them less like nightmare fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that doesn't stop them having 5 arms and two bodies and things.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, sorry, it's impressive actually. When eventually you sort of look out on a decent prompt and random number, it can actually produce some pretty nice stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I get some nice ones on Wombo, but I kept my kind of words quite tied in and quite kind of, everything was kind of connected. I didn't throw any wildcards in there, and I just kept it quite simple, really,
Yep.
There you go. Yep. So that you then? Or have you had any other excitement?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
Just got to pick the kiddos from daycare, so I'll bid everybody farewell and for the mug.
For the mug. Mug.
No.
Right.
Meat Elizabeth?
Yep.
Yep. So how have you been?
Oh, not too bad. I actually managed to get some time in game for the first time in must be about 4 months, I think. So I flew around a bit and chased down all of those Halloween-y mysteries that have been going on, and had some fun with that, scanning probes and landing on systems and finding beacons and all of that good stuff.
I just tried that earlier, but I haven't really worked out everything I'm supposed to do yet, I don't think.
Well, I don't know if I got everything, but I got the main one of the people who'd been kidnapped and dropped into escape pods and sent somewhere and things. So I traced that one through to the end of the story, and that was a fun evening. And then I got busy again.
How would you go about tracing to the end of the story then? I mean, I just get the messages from the beacons and things, but then I don't know what to do after that.
There's beacons with coded messages. You
I've
decode the messages.
I've done that.
They will tell you where on the planet they're orbiting to go. So you go down there, it's a surface installation. Yeah. You go down there to the surface installation, you scan the between 3 and 6 logs on the surface installation, and the last one of them will tell you which planet the next beacon was orbiting in the same system.
Right.
There's a total of 3 beacons with 3 encoded messages that send you to 3 surface installations, and you hear the story of each of the 6 people who'd been kidnapped.
Somebody told me where the beacons are, but so I didn't do it properly, right? Oh.
Yeah, there's a surface base underneath each one of them as well.
Surface installation, right? I'll have a look again.
Just a good old fashioned go in your SRV and scan the log points one.
Right.
Yeah, so that was fun.
That. Yeah, it sounds it.
This weekend I'll be dragging the joystick back onto the desk and hopefully delivering my first mug for Too Hot Too Messy.
I better get around to that. If you need a supply of mugs and gin, I have some on my carrier.
I've got a carrier that's currently
You've got your own carrier
at Alpha Centauri, but I need to do a Hutton run anyway. It's been ages.
Yeah.
So I'll be attacking that this weekend with a bit of luck if things don't get too busy at home. So hopefully.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
You'll be repairing that hole in the wall that guy's been drilling through from next door.
Yeah, thankfully he seems to have stopped. It's ridiculous, isn't it? 9:30, just as I'm speaking on the radio, and then
I wonder why it was.
Yeah, somebody with a Black & Decker in the next building.
Great.
Fun. Actually, it's been a nightmare recently. There's about a quarter of a mile from here, they're building a new housing estate. So it's a couple of fields away. We can't see it or anything, but it's a bit swampy. So they're driving piles in to set up the foundations for these things. From 8:30 in the morning until about 3:30 in the afternoon, every day, there's just this thump, 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 thump.
I used to love that
going on.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So they're not building houses on a floodplain, are they? I mean, there are sensible housing developments that seem to be done recently. Let's just build them on a floodplain.
On here.
Well, they're building them on a hill, so it's not technically a floodplain, but it is a swamp. So
a swamp on a hill.
Yeah, I think what they normally do is they put the
terrible drainage around here.
They put the piles in. They put the piles in until they hit solid ground at the bottom of the swamp.
Not necessarily.
And then I understand they put like a big concrete raft over that and put the building on the concrete raft.
Not always.
So putting piles in and they kept sinking and putting more piles in it kept sinking.
But when you're building 50 or 60 houses, that's a big raft and a big lot of piles.
Oh yeah. It's probably a lot of separate rafts.
There's no rock in London, so
yeah. London is just a swamp then.
Oh well, technically it is, yeah. Westminster Abbey was built on an island in that swamp.
No,
Yeah, it's
not
always
swamp.
been
Cesspit.
marshy,
London is a cesspit. It's a different thing entirely.
Yeah, that explains the smell.
I'm glad you said
A
that.
den of iniquity, that's what London is.
Well, it's a den.
Only on
It's
a good
dirty
day.
den.
Yeah, it's only in a good day. Depends if you know where to go.
My
Yes.
pub.
But yeah, in other news, I've been arranging my travel for the end of November, beginning of December, and it turns out that when Banter is over in Hollywood recording for the new voice pack, I will be less than 300 miles from there, and I won't be able to close the distance any further than that.
Oh,
Talk about a near miss.
nothing knows in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for my sins I shall be working, and my boss will be on site, so I won't even be able to sneak out for a couple of hours.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. It's all on expenses, so it could be
Oh,
worse.
well. Yeah. Okay.
But I think that's about it for me, so for the mug.
For the mug. Okay. Thank you.
Well, the Magic Volcarius machine says, I need to talk to Chicks. Hello, Chicks.
Hello.
Hello, so you're better from mods.
Well, it's towards the back end of the thick and green stage.
Well, the little cough that you had seems to have
My wee
disappeared.
cough.
Yeah, the wee cough, yes, that you had last week seems to have disappeared, and you're back. Other than that,
Well, I never left, to be honest. But, you would never know that.
no, we couldn't see your lips moving.
Well, you can't now.
It was the BSL special last week.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Just waving my arms around.
Yep, but other than that, obviously you have been mugging, and you mentioned earlier that you may have diverted to a few other activities in the meantime.
Well, since you go to all the bother of going down to planetary surfaces, you might as well do a few missions while you're there. So I take missions and I go and mug all the stations around it and grab the thing, whatever it is, and then go back, cash it in, and I upgraded my Dominator suit this week. It's level 4 now.
Do you, any bonus features on it yet?
Has night vision, has faster shield regen, and I forgot what the other one is.
So it dies less quickly.
It does. I tend not to do too much pew pew with it. I tend to use it more in a sniper mode where I sort of
Camping on the top of a building and going, ha ha, pew.
Well, what I tend to do is if I get shot at while I'm delivering mugs, I deliver the mugs and then I fly away about sort of 600 meters, land, and then come back very stealthily and then kill them all from a distance. And then I've got a short range, the other Manticore one, the assault rifle.
Not that.
The plasma assault rifle.
Short range. Oh, not that short range. The plasma. Oh, right. Not the pistol,
not
but the
not the shotgun. The sort of assault rifle. I can't remember the name. Intimidator, is it? I can't remember. Because then you don't have to change weapons halfway through. It takes a little bit longer, but that's got headshot damage on it now, I think, as well.
Ah, right. No, I find the little plasma pistol is quite an effective little tool.
Packs a punch, yeah, and you don't have to be too fussy about whether the shields are just coming back up or you just keep shooting. And it's sort of, obviously, they have a flinch, so as you shoot them, they tend not to return fire or not too accurately. Anyway, so a nice big extended magazine, just keep shooting them till they don't shoot anymore.
Yeah, until they lie down, have a nap, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
all right, so there is an upside to your deliveries that you're getting all of the stuff.
It would be dull if it was just smug delivery non-stop, wouldn't it? I'm just looking at this ship that's circling around me at the moment.
I don't know how you fit so much in.
It's an Orca, it's fine. If it was a DBX, I'd be taking off and not getting shot.
But other than that, any plans for the next week or next few weeks? CGs, more mugging, or just more of the same?
Well, we'll see what comes up. I just logging back into Twitch tonight. I just noticed a message from Sally about these paint jobs, so I'm going to go take a look at those. I'm sure there was one. Cobra was one of them for this noctule hex that we won the live stream last week.
The super spooky. Is that's not the one with the bats on? That's the one with the smiley face on.
I think it is. The one with the smiley face is the one I've got on at the moment. I can't remember the name of it. But
there's no sign of any suit-based new ones. We had a pumpkin, whether we've got a sort of a skeleton head or anything.
I haven't looked, to be honest.
No, right.
I'm still wearing my green combat sweat. Oh no, I changed to the retro suit. when that came out. I thought they were very good. You know, the sort of the looks a bit Apollo era-ish.
Oh, we had a message just coming in from Jack Little. Did I turn up at the wrong time? No, this is the green room bit. Goodness, it's the best bit of the month. When we tell everybody what we've been up to,
the NASA spacesuits.
What were they expecting? Psychic doing a live show?
Well, I mean, Jack Little did miss the VT and everything, and the news and the awards. No, Jack Little, you didn't win a mug this week. Are you going to win a mug next week? Well, maybe you should. I mean, chicks could tell you how.
Well, deliver 10 mugs in the week and you stand it. Well, at least you go in the draw.
Yeah.
Is it 10 mugs or 10 mugs and 10 gin?
And 10 gin, yeah.
Now, how that's been determined, I do not know. But I just assume those that are doing sticking their arms in hats and pulling names out, I assume they've got that covered.
Well, there's a method.
Mm-hmm. There must be a method. There's always a method.
Yeah, absolutely. And some madness to go with it. So other than that, do you have anything else to add?
Game-wise, not really at the moment. So for the mug.
And now it is the apology officer to talk to Flossy.
Helen.
Hello.
Hello. Hiya.
Hiya.
Hiya. What have you been up to? You're always busy.
I've been mostly doing CG stuff this week.
Yeah.
Because it was one I've been waiting for this one. Where if it was successful, we're going to start establishing communications with the Thargoids.
Oh.
So being friendly.
Yeah.
Not killing them. And I've been waiting for this for ages, so I had to do it.
Yes.
And for once, I actually used my fleet carrier. I don't normally.
Oh. Don't kill the flower, people. That's the message.
So, yeah. There was me, Hanky, and Vega. All had our fleet carriers then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They were playing during the day as well, so they did a lot more than me. But I still ended up sort of 10%,
yeah, but
so it wasn't bad.
They're all retired. They've got loads of time in their hands, whereas you,
I am retired.
Yeah, but you're far too busy. You've got things to do like bombing Russia and World War II.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I also have housework and stuff like that to do.
And your extreme cross stitch as well.
My what?
Your extreme cross stitch.
Oh, cross stitch. Yeah. I have a lot of hobbies. In fact, I don't have enough hours in a day to do everything. I don't know. Found time to work before.
No. Yeah.
There's so many things, and of course, got more things as well for my birthday last week. So yeah, it's all go. Oh, and I do. I keep myself fit sometimes with Beat Saber on me. Oculus.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Beat Saber, you were a wizard.
But
Beat Saber, weren't you?
one of my hand controllers stopped working the other day.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, I went onto the website there and had a long chat with somebody, and they agreed to change it. So
excellent. That's good.
Sent it off, and I'll get one back in about a week, probably.
And obviously, don't forget that the Hutton Orbital theme tune is available playing on Beat Saber, but only on the plugged into the PC version of Beat Saber.
Yeah. I have Beat Saber on the PC, but I usually play it on my Quest, so freestanding.
But yes, you can get if you sideload the tune for the Hutton Orbital tune. There is actually a map for that done by Dead Meat GF.
Yes. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. I haven't done that for ages because I can't do it on the PC very well because I keep getting caught up with the wire.
you cross-stitch yourself into one of those knitting Nancy's. You remember from the back in the day? You know where the... Anyway, yeah.
You need a longer wire, that's what you need.
Yeah. I'm bigger room to do it in. I'm very limited for space here. No.
So that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So I usually try and do... Well, I have my Apple Watch, which has me, 30 minutes exercise on it. Yeah. So I always make sure I complete my exercise ring most days.
That's good.
Yeah.
And for a lady who's just had a fairly significant birthday.
Yes.
22, I believe.
I wish. Right, it was my
Yeah.
69th.
Yes. Well, there you are. Well, it's good to keep fit then if you're 69.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
enjoy doing it.
Absolutely.
Right. So, other than that, for the mug, I suppose.
For the mug. Okay, we need to know who's doing the thing next.
It's me talking to Banter. So, Mr. 21, how have you been?
I've
Where have you been?
got
Why
red
haven't
on
we seen
me.
you for months. Yeah, you've always got red on
I've
you.
got
That's
red
not
on me.
news.
Yeah. Well,
What have you done this time?
Well, no, I've been away with work, and I've been to, I don't know, Brighton a couple of times, and a bit of London, and all over the place. And while I was down in Brighton for the first one of the shows, some delightful person put the the front screen of my Python. I think it made a news article. Anyway, put the screen of my Python in to rob the Python. Managed not to steal anything at all, and left me without a window in my Python, the purple Python. And then I contacted the insurer, and they went, no, you didn't lose the whole ship. You just lost the glass. Yeah, we can't do an insurance claim on that. We have to go and get supplies from, I don't know, wherever Pythons are made. And by the way, we don't know when we're going to have any in stock. So my poor battle bus have been sitting there with no glass in it for nearly 3 weeks now. Yes, while I then had to catch the train over to places and borrow cars and all sorts, and went up to Birmingham, and so I eventually got fed up and went, I know what, I'm going to go to the old Tionisla ship graveyard and find myself a Python glass, which I did second hand, and I got fed up today, so I thought, I'll take all the smashed glass out of my car and my Python, I should say, and
fun.
I know, and then fit the new glass in. Now, did I cut myself on the glass? No. Did I manage to drop the window into the frame and mash my finger against a sharp metal edge and slice a whole chunk of my hand off? Yes. And then an hour after I finished it, Auto Glass got back to me and said, Pythons, yeah, we've got glass for that. When can we fit it? And I may have...
Did you tell them where they could fit it?
Yeah, well, with some red dripping off my finger while I'm talking to them. I did, yes. Well, I said, you can come and take the NAF Tionisla ship graveyard one off my vehicle, and you can fit me a lovely shiny one with no streaks or smears on it. So yeah, I went and joined the TUC annual congress as to work on it, not to take part, and spent 3 days with angry unionists yelling in one of my ears.
Were the tuck biscuits nice?
Well, they did have many biscuits, but no tuck biscuits.
It's a shame.
Yep. So that was
the conference.
That was interesting, and then I was playing with some blinds and shutters, and I was playing with all sorts of stuff away, and then I'm off again on Monday doing hush shh security stuff. I've got about another 6 weeks of crazy shows, and then I might get to come home and do more broadcasting and things. And actually,
so we're going to see you again in time for Christmas, maybe.
Just about, apart from the bit where you and I are flying off to the wrong bits of America at the same time.
Yes. So close.
I know.
So
yeah. Other than that, I've been told I've got to fit ships out with a ship's dog in the next few weeks as well. Yeah. So there will be a ship's dog to accompany the ship's cat and the ship's parrot. Which I think there was a teaser put out for a couple of days ago, so I've got to work out how to squeeze a dog into a cockpit, and also record the HCS voice pack, and I'll do a few other bits and pieces. I'm sure, I think they said sort of, I don't know, was it November, December time, they're thinking about putting a new update out, and Thargoids are going to turn up and mash everything, so I'm bound to have loads of work to do then on the voice packs as well.
Yep, because everything in the log files will subtly change, as it always does.
I managed to get to the cinema to see Black Adam.
Oh yeah, any good?
I put a review up on Galbook, but enjoyable pap, I should say. I did like the old Justice League cartoons, and there were a few callbacks to that, and Shazam, which is silly but very fun, and The Rock smoldered, and Dr. Fate was magical, and it was fun, enjoyable, silly film.
Pleasant romp. Sounds good.
Message coming through. Where is Cecil? I have absolutely no idea where is Cecil at the moment.
He's probably sleeping a hangover off, to be fair.
Probably. I have no idea what he's up to be fair.
And me, Cecil B. Trumpington. I'm here too. I'm just helping, I think. For the mug.
For the mug, Cecil.
He's always helping.
I know.
Always helping.
He is always helping. And I suppose that well, thank you very much, Cecil.
Well, thank you very much. That was excellent.
Yeah, compliments. We'll get. Oh my goodness, he's drinking. Anyway, well, as Cecil says, there's probably a mug for the mug from me. Where am I? Next Thursday, I'm in Harrogate.
Very nice.
Thursday till Sunday. I know I'll be catching up with one or two Hutton truckers up there. I must admit, I've forgotten to publish the fact that I'm going to be up there for those that normally pop over and visit. Our usual restaurant unfortunately shut down during COVID times, which is rubbish. Yeah, I know. But I'll probably try and put a message up tomorrow to say anybody in the area of Harrogate over that weekend. Probably the Saturday evening, I think we tend to try and go for a burger. But anybody about, welcome to come and join a few Hutton truckers for a burger and a pint.
I'm not quite in the area, but I probably will be for the night. It was a great laugh last time I was over there, so. Cecil's at it again.
That's two in 2 minutes. Right, that's it. Oh, God, he's off. For the mug from me.
For the mug.
Right. Apology, officer. Is there anybody there?
No, I've just unmuted myself. I was doing something. Important things.
Well, I am. I'm robbing these containers at the moment.
Are you robbing containers? And
Yeah.
I am not. My
bugger.
I'm at the opposite end. I'm on the desktop PC, not the lovely laptop you kindly donated to me.
I left my ship and I forgot to pick up some e-breeches. There you go. I've got them now. So what have you been up to?
Well, we had a wee chat earlier on, I think, about what I've been up to. I have been trying to get...
I bet everyone else didn't hear it.
No, I'm going to share. I have been trying to get the goods together to upgrade my Dominator suit. So I've been following a similar track to you, at a much slower pace, I think.
Let me guess. Power generators.
Power generators, I am one power generator short of upgrading my Dominator suit from a 2 to a 3. And the reason I'm working on a Dominator 2, I've got a Dominator 3 that's sitting there, and
it's got some nice attachment already, hasn't it?
Damage resistant. The one I'm doing's got night vision on it.
Oh yeah. Well,
and my understanding is to get night vision, you need to jump through an awful lot of hoops. So if you can buy one with night vision on it,
exactly.
Yeah. So I've got one with night vision on it, but it's only a 2. I am one power regulator away from upgrading it to a 3. In the course of my endeavours, though, I was in Yoru, and I thought, Yoru, I'm sure there's one of the engineers, if you get friendly with the party of Yoru, they'll refer you on to him. And I thought, well, that's good. I'll maybe work at Yoru for a while. But things were not going well for me in Yoru. I had some glitches, which is fine. Some of them were game glitches, and some of them were human side glitches, let's say, where I just made a mess of things.
You had an incident, didn't you?
I had, there were incidents, plural, but I had a wee incident where I'd incurred I think a mission had expired, something had happened, and I ended up with a fine. And I thought, well, yeah, it's fine. So
a fine what?
Yeah, a fine lot of money to be taken out of my bank account, but it wasn't showing up in the station. I thought, it'll be fine.
Another fine.
I keep using the word fine. I thought, it'll be okay.
Sorry, it's fine.
It'll be okay. Let's not worry about it. So I took a delivery mission. I thought, this is nice and easy. I'll build up my rep with the party. I'll work on this. And I went down to this the surface base, popped in, and I'm walking around, and someone goes, I want to scan you. And I'm like, yeah, scan away. And they scanned me. But what I didn't realise was because I had this fine on me, they then get really, really angry. They started shouting and drawing guns, and there was, shouting and screaming and laser fire.
Sort of heavy.
And me, I'm standing there in a Maverick suit, so I'm like, well, no. So I run away, pursued by what I can only describe as a phalanx of guards chasing after me with multiple kinds of gunfire, all sorts of colours of lasers going off in the background. Got to my ship and started to take off, and the bugger started shooting at my ship, and I thought, no,
they always do.
No,
what kind of base was it?
It was a base on the ground.
No, I know, but what security level?
I think it was a medium, if I remember.
You might get away with it.
Yeah, well, Well, I was taking off. I thought, you buggers, how dare you? So I started rocketing them. Just the red mist descended, and I just went for the standard protocol, fire rockets at the buggers.
So did you get another fine for that?
I get many bounties for that. There were many bounties. There were 23 dead bodies at the end. So there was lots of rocket fire, and eventually they stopped coming out of buildings and shooting at me.
So you're off their Christmas card list, I take it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I landed, got out my SRV, and I thought, I'm in the SRV, so I'm blundering a bit in the
rapid
SRV.
sweets.
I know somebody's doing something. And somebody came running up the street, so they get lasered to the face. And then I started getting into buildings. I thought, do you know what?
Do they have a little moustache they were trying to get rid of or something?
Yeah. A bit of laser hair removal. You know, you remove the whole head, you remove the hair as well.
Yeah.
And then I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I need to make this worth my while now because I've incurred a lot of aggravation. And I thought, I'm going to get the power regulator. So I went into the hab building. There was somebody in there with level 2 clearance. So they get shot in the face and cloned. Then I ran for there to the power building. Level 2 got me into the power building, but not into the power generator room. But thankfully somebody there sacrificed himself. And they had level 3 clearance, so I got in.
Not across the control console, surely.
No. They were out of the control room. They were running up a corridor shouting, "There he's there, get him!" to somebody who wasn't there anymore. And then it was awful. So anyway, I got a power regulator. I made it worth my while.
You can just do a little, steal from the cache and get a power regulator mission.
Yeah, I know, but Anyway, once I'd done all that,
I landed the other day next to a Sidewinder that had 2 working ones.
Yeah, but you're a jammy bugger. I'm not. So anyway, I get
bet
back.
The owner wasn't happy.
Well, he was dead on me, gone through the windscreen.
But I had a notoriety of 3, and I had to move a few. Let's say, just move myself a few star systems across, then kind of start again in a different place. So yeah,
just leave the game running and go and have your dinner while you sat in the station.
I just went somewhere else and did some missions that didn't get me. I did some missions that didn't get me killed or blown up or attacked or fined, and that seemed to work. But the party of Yoru don't like me much at the moment. I've gone down. What's the one after neutral where they go down one? So unfriendly or something like that, or unhopeful. It's something like that anyway. I've never been there before, but I'm there now.
Hostile.
No, that's the last one.
No, it's not hostile. It's only
it
doesn't matter. It's only one down anyway.
Unfriendly, I think.
Yeah, I think it's unfriendly. So that's been my week in Elite.
Very good.
Yeah, for the mug.
Is that everybody?
I think so.
Don't think I didn't see the ticker at the bottom of the screen there. Don't think I didn't see that when nobody was looking.
Dicky ticker.
The Dicky ticker, yes. I worked out why I can't work the Dicky ticker at the same time as broadcasting, because as soon as I open it in a web browser, it stops it on screen for some reason. Totally random. Apart from that message that's there. But anyway, well, thank you very much to our green room visitors. It's lovely to talk to you all. And to those people who came and went and came back again and then turned up too late over in the chat channel as well. Lovely to see you all. We have got an emergency broadcast from Commander Wotherspoon while we've been on air. Apparently, we haven't mentioned the massive invasion of Thargoids in the California Nebula yet, have you? There is one. Thank you, Commander Wotherspoon, for that update. Yeah, so if you're going to California, don't, because it's full of Thargoids. Oh, bother.
I just noticed that Waller 81 has just come online, so I'm just going to tell him he won this week.
Waller 81! You won!
Yes, well, online... Waller 81!
Yeah, Thargoids.
Waller 81. HuttonOrbital.com.
You won this week's mug!
Mug
for the mug. Yeah, mug. Right. Well, on that note, and thanks to an absolutely seamless show, I'm not going to have much editing to do, am I? No.
Yeah, just round about my bit where I've
No, I'm leaving that in.
What were you talking?
It's part of the charm. It's part of the charm. So I'm not here. I'm not here next week. Do we know who is on the decks next week?
I think
All hands, apparently.
I think it's Josh again.
Oh, fantastic. We look forward to more marvellous editing. Maybe live editing. Maybe we'll step up Overlight skills and do live sticky back plastic. Here's one I made earlier.
No holds barred editing.
Absolutely. But other than that, it remains for me to say thank you very much, everybody. We'll be back next week. Same place, same time, same silliness. No green room. That's at the end of the month. And other than that, what's the words? It's for the mug.
Oh, for the mug!
For the mug!
No,
mug.
Amelia.
For the mug.
Mug.
Oh, that mug.
Journey too long, no cargo too small. Profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the teen out to the brim with the rest for the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, everybody sing the trucker song. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Skibble lies the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the frame, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody out. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. You know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. So give me a large path that I can land on, and I'll give you cargo and sing you my song. No point 22 light years to go, cruising to no journey too long, no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud, loud. You don't even care. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everybody's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?